Hold on.
No, I literally did. I went to Q Toys. I'll plug them because they plugged me.
That's a physical. Whoa! Holy shit!
That was great.
That was the best.
I'm so sorry.
Amazing.
God, I'm so glad this is still recording.
I'm so sorry is actually going to be the name of my solo show.
I hope it is.
Because it really is because I say it so often. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I went into Q Toys on Burnett, because it's right next to my vet.
So you saw it.
I saw it and I was like, what's that?
I love my cat.
And I was like, cat? Wait. Connection? So I went in there and it was like a couple months after I had moved out of my ex-boyfriend's house and like I was in my own place and I walked in and no one else was there. It was just me and the store owner and I felt very uncomfortable and was just like, fuck, like, I don't know. And so I walked in and I was like, oh, hi. And I started like touching things like I knew what they were and was like, yes, this one, good job. And then she came up to me and was like, do you need help? Like, what are you looking for? And I was like, I don't know. And she was very accommodating and just like, well, what do you like? What do you want? And she helped me pick out a thing that was like for beginners, but it could also be for something else. I feel like the hand gestures I'm making are more leading than the words I'm saying. But
I'm absolutely confused.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
And then there's this part.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Yowza.
Yeek. And
Well,
so
they're so far apart.
I know, in my mind, I'm like, they're very far. It's actually more like this.
Okay, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, this part doesn't get anything.
Yeah, it's
so,
like butt stuff.
No, thank you. Mostly just because I'm afraid that I would fart.
I love making Amy just shake her head. Pilot's license, we do it so much, and I'm just glad to see that is not just.
We had a similar toy buying experience. I was at work and I hadn't had sex in forever. I also went like a year and a half without having sex, which was crazy.
Wow.
And then, but yeah, it was during, like, I think it had been like 6 months or maybe a year or something already. It's like, I can't, do you remember in the Sandlot when Smalls was like, I can't take this anymore?
Yeah.
It was like that. So then there was a...
I thought you were going to say that you were like watching the movie and the scene happened and you were like, that's a good point. Pause. And you're like,
yeah. And then you came back and unpaused and just went to town.
While watching the other Sandlot. Oh, yeah,
Benny
Smalls.
Rodriguez.
Get it going. Sorry, Nick, you'll never be able to watch that movie.
She's never
again.
going to masturbate again.
None of these things are true. I'm still going to watch Sandlot. I'm still going to do that. But yeah, it was just like I knew where one was, and I just went to the store because I didn't want it on like a thing. Yeah. And then the whole drive home, I was just so excited. Yeah. And just like, man, this is going to be awesome. And it was.
Yeah. That was my exact experience. Mine has like a rechargeable, it's like a magnetic charger. So, like, you have to charge it up first. It's not battery operated. Like, it's battery, but it's a recharge. I don't fucking know.
Put some money
you have to
into
plug it in.
That's good. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It was very expensive.
No, I was going to say.
It's good that you don't plug it in.
But it's, like, the only one I'll ever buy,
one.
probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good.
It's an investment. It's like an asset. It's like a flat screen TV.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, you don't want to have to keep going back and buying them, so you don't buy the bottom of the line so that they, like, break or whatever.
I bought, like, a real crappy one when I was in college, online. My boyfriend went home for Christmas, and I stayed in our apartment, and I was like, ooh, like, it came in, like, a discreet box, and I was like, oh, no! And I was, like, so excited about it, and it was just, like, I didn't know what to do with it, and I was just like, do I go? I literally went into the bathroom, and, like, just sat on the floor, and was like, is this where I do it? Like, I didn't want to do it in our bed. I was like, oh, like, I was so weird about sex.
You got that, and you're like, I didn't plan for this at all.
You were like, I was just like, whoa. Like, I literally was Googling it. I'm like, how do you use a vibrator? I'm like, I don't know.
You know, I'll be honest with you. So, I told you I was a late bloomer. I didn't have sex until I was in New York City, but it wasn't like as soon as I moved there. I lived there for a little while before I had the sex. And my first job when I moved to New York City was in a sex shop. So I sold implements of sexual pleasure to many, many, many New Yorkers, giving them false information about everything. And telling them fake stories about things. And I'll be honest, I've never purchased any sort of sex toy because I worked at the place, and there were too many things that I found out and knew and saw and told people.
What does that mean?
Like, there's just a whole variety of insanity along the way that, like, people would come in and then want me to explain to them, and I would have to find out and then tell them. And some of the things are crazy, and like, I would just get weirded out or grossed out or whatever. Not surprising during any of this time that I didn't have sex myself, because I was all like, people who have sex are crazy.
They are.
But then later, hilariously later in my life, I had all the sex with all the people. I didn't have it with machines of any kind. I think because I just spent too much time with them in the precursor.
That's an odd choice of words for machines. Like, I'm not fucking robots.
Listen,
like,
I've never had sex with a computer.
No, I just mean,
like a
you know what I mean.
T800 model.
No, Amy, I don't know what you mean.
I'm sorry, Delia. I mean, later in my life, I had sex with multiple people all at once, and that was weird and crazy and insane and whatever. But I still never. I have one vibrator which I still have in the drawer and with my socks that I've used twice. That I won at a contest one time. And it has an angry face on it. And when you reach in the box to take it out, there's a sensor. So when you lift it up, it goes, "I have a headache," or "Not tonight."
That's so awesome.
Oh my god!
Spencer's.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah, I
awesome.
won it at like a trivia night or some event. With the art stars that
That's
I hung
really
out with in
funny.
New York City, the people that I did comedy with there, and
Nice.
I still have it, and I think the same batteries are in it because I just don't use it. I don't know why.
Mine is from the company Fun. Fun period.
Not exclamation.
No, it's just like fun, which is why I was like, I was like,
That's
I
the
don't
kind of fun I have.
like literally. Again, it's a podcast at TMI, but like when I masturbate, it takes me like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, it's very efficient. And then at the end, I had like a stand-up. I don't do stand-up, but I had a stand-up joke where I was like I've gotten really comfortable with my body, and like too comfortable. Like now my orgasms are like when you're on a long road trip and your friend is like, "Do you want to stop at Burger King?" And you're like, like that's it. It's just like, yeah. Oh, okay. I just shrug a lot. So, like, I just have gotten so, like, that's just it. Like, I know, and it's funny because, like, it doesn't translate to, like, sex with a person. Because you're like, cool, I know, like, with my tool, like, where my points are, and I know exactly, like, where to move and, like, what to do, and I'm good. And then I feel good. So I'm not doing it wrong.
Right.
But like with another person, I'm like, there are all these other factors that I'm like, no, I can't do it in 2 minutes. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. But
see, I'll do
like,
it.
it takes a little bit. Yeah.
I'll do it just because I can't. There's nothing else to do.
I wish that's like not my biggest envy. I have a lot of envies of men. I've got big penis envy. But
Me
like,
too, I've always wanted
so
a
much.
penis.
Like, I want to travel alone. I can't do it. I want to masturbate just like whenever I want. I finally had a nooner by myself once. Because so a nooner is technically when you have sex with someone.
Like, kind of on your, like, lunch
On your
break.
lunch break.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I had a solo
did tons of those in my community.
I work like a mile from where I live. And so one day I was like, I'm going to go home for lunch. And I went home and I was like, oh, I'm not really hungry. And I was just like, an hour to myself. And I was like, 2 minutes of that is just going to be playing around. And I felt great. And I was like, I really was like tweeting about it and was like, people should do this. Like, this should be a part of your lunch break. Like, I felt so much better the second half of the day. I was like, oh, I'm like in a good mood, just like chatting and joking around and getting stuff done. I was like, why don't we all just fucking do this?
Yeah, it's like
I
the
feel
morning
so
assembly.
much better.
You know, like the morning assembly, like in
Uh-huh.
elementary school. It's like that just put your whole, like, you
Yeah.
only have to do a half a day worth of school now
Yeah.
or whatever, you know? Like, knowing you had a morning assembly was really
Uh-huh.
exciting and put a lot of pep in my
I like calling it a morning assembly. Morning sex or masturbation will now only be referred to in my head as a morning assembly. Everybody
Next time
gather around, we
your
have some
boyfriend-
announcements.
Next time your boyfriend catches you in the
Yeah.
morning, you're like, oh, morning assembly, eh?
Morning
All
assembly.
right.
Yeah.
we're watching football players tear yellow pages and have for like, bending pans. I don't know.
What do
Oh,
they
man.
do in South Carolina school?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, no. We had a football
You
player.
watched
He
a
was
football
like,
player
watch me.
rip-
He tore a yellow book or like a phone book in half.
My
What?
morning
And he bent some
assemblies were
skillets.
like mothers talking about their children who died in drunk driving
Oh.
accidents. Like that was a
Damn.
Florida morning.
Yeah, okay.
Florida morning is like feel ashamed about your life, which was just like what everybody's religion told them.
Fair enough.
I mean, I
was
guess the
dragged to a lot
DARE
of Baptist
meetings
church.
were in the morning. Remember
Yeah.
DARE?
Dare?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was
That's
a child
My son
in,
did cocaine once,
in
and now he's
center
dead.
of-
Don't do that.
Yeah, DARE. A lot. I remember there's a policeman. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it so weird.
A policeman
who would come, and it was the
man.
same guy over and over. And I can't. It makes me sad that I can't remember his name. I can see his face in my head.
I see his
But he was
mustache.
the same guy.
No,
No
actually,
mustache.
I was imagining mine. Officer DeLuca.
Oh, that's a cop name.
Yeah, he had a mustache. I remember him.
I feel like the name I'm remembering is something I've made
I
up
think it
in
was
my own
Robert
head.
DeLuca.
So,
I'm gonna look him up.
whatever it is, he was a nice guy, and he came and he taught us about all the things, health. Yeah, they told us. Yeah, I mean, like when I was growing up, they didn't like health was like. Let me tell you about the scary ways you're gonna die from
Yeah.
sex. I mean, AIDS happened like while I was in school, right? So like one day they were all like, "Listen, guys, there's a sperm and it's going into an egg," and the next class they were like, "Get away from each other! You're all gonna die from disease!"
Yeah.
Like what?
Actually,
So I don't know.
now that I'm thinking of like the timeline of like why was sex so hard for me? Humping the couch, no good. That got taken away from me. They took the couch away.
They put her up on a higher shelf.
Yeah, they were like, "You're not allowed near the couch." And then
no.
I was like,
Again.
In every house, Caitlin just sits in the side chair
And I'm
because she
like-
feels like it's the right one. They're like, "No, Caitlin, come to the couch."
I can't come to the couch. So in middle school, after I moved to Florida, like middle school sex ed in Connecticut was very different. It was like, we're gonna split the boys and girls up. You're each gonna watch 2 videos about what's happening to the other group and what's happening to you. And a lot of girls
Oh.
were like, "Oh, that's already happened to me," and they would like cry and be like emotional about it. We'd have a conversation. I got my period in the summer between 5th and 6th grade. So I was like 12, I think. So like pretty early. So like, but I knew it was coming because we talked about it in 5th grade and I was like, cool, great. When I moved to Florida, we had a substitute teacher who came to career day. I feel like that was why this happened. Dressed as a clown and told us about being a clown. And she was this terrifying old woman. She just terrified me as a substitute teacher and also as a clown. And then the very next week came back and taught sex ed. So I feel like that probably has something to do with it. I was like, I'm afraid of this woman to begin with. Oh, now she's a clown. Now I'm afraid of clowns. Oh, she's talking about sex. Now I'm afraid of sex.
She was your Slender
God.
Man.
Is
Yeah.
she- or is she-
Oh, full circle!
Yes.
Yep.
Damn.
It's true. It manifested in my head, and I was like, I don't remember what her name was, but I call her
Pennywise.
Mrs. What's the name? What's
Oh,
the
the
German word
clown?
for like when you're happy at someone else's sadness?
Schadenfreude.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think
It's a
of her.
German word.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
It's like when someone
Schadenfreude.
slips on ice and falls, and you're like, ha ha, hilarious.
Frau Schadenfreude.
Yeah. That's what I think of when I think of her. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Guys, I've already written the opening sequence to my hit movie, Front Butt.
I was
would
gonna
love-
say fart butt.
I really...
Delia, that's your movie?
Front butt fart is a different thing, which I cannot. Anytime I'm having sex, and if any sounds happen, I just laugh.
It's horrifying.
It's hilarious though. Like the only